Okay, so this part of the video is about actually coding that, so that's why I made a separate video, and we're gonna do that. So if we go back to share my screen, and we're gonna start coding that. Do not like the wallpaper, I want to change that to a bit more something we can use. Sweet. A bit more not distracting wallpaper. So we are going to build that. We do need charts, and I have done a little bit of work with this chart stuff. If we go to jingle bells, jingle bells, jingle bells. Top to give clearer average. Second level tags, nope. Was it in manic time? If we clone repository manic time, calendar API, I think maybe here. Jingle bells, jingle bells, jingle bells. Nope. If we see here, yeah, I think somewhere I did have the really second level tags, that's not the one. If we go sandbox, that's not the one. Top to give clearer. Okay, no, we don't have, we'll make it from scratch, don't worry. It was called the JavaScript library for making ChartJS. ChartJS, there it is. Okay, so if we try to make a chart with ChartJS, let's see a small example. Do you want to try it yourself? Yeah, we want something like this. If I say I want not scatter, I want a line. Yeah, so this we can see the trajectory, but I do want to see it better, like each individual points, because it's just giving me 2 points. Okay, so let's open the ChartJS on the right side. ChartJS docs, getting started. Yeah, this is what we kind of want. We could manipulate these kind of things and yeah, change the axes. So that's fine. We say config typeline data options, this setup is this. Okay, so instead of doing all of that, can we change labels? Is this const data is this? So if we go script and this config is this. Yeah, the thing is my chart is equal to get one config comma config. It is prime time. Config. If we run this, if there's any error, we'll fix that. I think there is error. He says const my chart is equal to blah 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 get elements. What are we missing? We're not missing anything. What you talk about? Okay, what we will do is actually let's get rid of this. Copy this, put it in here. Copy this, put it in here. Then we go setup, copy our setup, put it in a script tag. Let's see, RIPT. I'll put it in here. We go config, copy that as well into my script tag, because fine. Finally, we're gonna render this in HTML land, and if we run this, we get the chart on the left. Okay, now we can start to modify this and use the thingy. We want this to be trajectory awareness, so my first data set needs to change to my current trajectory. Okay, if we run this changes, and here the labels should be in the last. Okay, can I have a total label? Or it will be better. I wanted to say something here, but I think we can basically do that if we do something like time, you know. Yeah, it's cheeky. If we put yeah, basically time. This is past. Yep, so time is increasing, and now we want to make something like this is now and predict the future. Okay, so the last one, I'll say this is future. Okay, so this is future, or even May, future, and future 1. Okay, so this is future 1. So if we, because it's like dot, probably where you'll end up. Okay, so we'll pretend that we are in February now, so we'll say February is now. Okay, this month or something like that. And okay, actually we can't do that, we need to say Feb, and we have to pretend that April is now. Okay, so that's now. And now let's change our data set, because it doesn't look nice. Okay, so we'll say my current trajectory of programming, we'll say of programming. Okay, so this is a trajectory of programming. So we can say that in January I didn't do. Yeah, how will this work, right? Like, it's only increase or it's decrease. So 0 is fine, 10, maybe 12, 15, 16, 18. Okay, so if we see something like this, oops, clicked that by mistake. So this is the current trajectory, and how can we know that trajectory is not going good, you know? By changing the time we consider, because this is like total. On the left we have total time spent. If I div id canvas, if I do on the left of it, CSS on how do we put stuff on the left of the canvas? Yeah, this I'll check ChartJS to general, data structure here, options, padding, performance, configuration, chart type, axes, labeling axes, scale title configuration, labeling axes. When creating a chart, you want to tell the viewer what data they're viewing. To do this, you need to label the axes. Yeah, that's what I'm creating custom tick formats. What the hell? Ticks? What's ticks? I just wanted to label the axes because it is prime time. Okay, namespace, it defines options for scale title. No, this is only applies to Cartesian axes. Yeah. Jingle bell, jingle bell, jingle. If you look at here, labels, labeling, getting started. You didn't tell me anything, you ruined my Our examples are available, but you can also download them here. Yeah. So if we go here, check some examples and randomize. That's one, that's fine. Horizontal bar chart. I want to see data sets, labeled axes. Labeled axes. Title, legend, I think scales, value. So here we have value here and month there, right? So if we image, what the hell? But basically we can use the code where the value is and the month is. So if we check in here some of the setup, yeah, I can't see value. The time scale is nice because that's what we are doing, right? Display true, title, time scale, yeah, this one. Plugins, data, line, scale, time, date, title. So in the scales, do we have scales? We don't have scales. And where does scales go? In the config. So we have config here, and then in the config we have options, and then in the options we have plugins. Okay, so we put something here called plugins. I think plugins is closed. Instead we have scales. We just talk about scales. X is time. Okay, I'll just copy this over and modify it. Jingle bell, jingle bell, jingle. So in the options we paste some stuff like this. So options has scales, so many brackets, and we don't have the colorizing of the brackets. So if we make the thing on the right smaller so that we can check what's going on. So the x-axis is time, so that's fine. This goes with this. Option scale, so that's x-axis is fine. So open time, display date. If I run this, maybe it works, you know. No, it's not happy. Okay, so y, probably it's just this extra, and this one. So if the options here, right, and then scales here, is closing this, is closing this, this is closing the whole of x, and then y has its own thing that is being y has so we'll say on the left we have total, we'll say activity, time spent, SPENT, spent on activity per total time, you know. Okay, so this is yy. Yeah, I'm not gonna tell it's type and shit, so bye bye type and shit, keep it simple. So scale x this is weird. Yeah, because I don't see a opening bracket. Yeah, and because this is kind of, you know, simple data, so I'm gonna make it just one. The and title display. So this should be happy now. He's not happy. So options, maybe he does need the plugins and shit, you know. Options, plugins opens, title closes, plugin closes. So plugins not, oh, we can do that here. We can do that here. Scales. We can take the whole config from here because it's good. Still he's not happy because of this time, type time. Yep, there we are. So we've got value and date. Okay, so if we change value to what we wanted, we had on the left we had like total time spent by total time considered. You know, yep, so this is the one. Okay, so if we now total time spent, total times considered, or I'll just say total time spent. Okay, that's all. And there it comes like there, total time spent, and then I'll say month or time interval. So now all we need to do is change these yeah, data set. This is like label current trajectory of this. So all we need to do is make this a variable, okay, and make this a variable, okay, and make this a variable. So labels 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, Okay, we're very close. What I'll do first is, yeah, future we don't know. I'll set December first. Okay, December, and I'll add like a 10, you know. So this is the trajectory kind of, so we'll say it was 8. Why? Why it's still 0 in January? Because December is 10, right? This is 8. Jingle bell, jingle bell. I don't really understand what's going on here. Should be 8, what you talk about? Come on, move it. So he made it 8. So I'll put a dummy comma 0 past. Okay, so that is 0. Okay. So programming is, we are going up in the trajectory of programming. So now if we just increase the data set, right? If we get another data set, copy this, comma, here, and we say so we understand this is trajectory, so we're not gonna spam that here, so we change this time spent on food, you know. Okay, and then we say past, maybe it was 100 or 20, then it is slowly decreasing, so we'll show decreasing, or it's a little bit increased and then decreased. But overall, we can say overall it is going that way. So basically it's stocks. Okay, so if we say 10, then 10, yep, 10, 10, 10, 12, 15, 16, 18, and then now we could say 5. Real good. Okay, and if I change the color to yellow, Filipino, pepper, blue. Sweet. So this is like same, so we'll do a little bit variation here. 11, 14. Okay. So this is looking good now. So we can say programming is on the increase. Food is kind of on the increase, but we would... Yeah, this is so weird because I told him to be 5. Okay, I think I added an extra data here. Yeah, so food is on the decrease overall. Programming is on the increase overall. Okay. So this is what we want to make a trajectory of activities about, and now we don't really need this on the right. We basically want to make something like this, you know, predict about the future. So if I even now change the future to something, March, say, yep, let's say this to March, April, May, June, now, and future. So say if we do something like this, right, and it doesn't have the data for it, we can say history repeats itself and just add these things here. Dun, 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 dun. Jingle bell, jingle bell. But the prediction of the future, you can't really say like that, because okay, and then we'll show a prediction that is decreasing. So 5, 4, 3, 2, okay, yeah. Here show that's decreasing and programming is increasing, okay. Like amount of time spent to get food and do everything. So if we can now chart all the, things, this will be nice. So now, as we see, this is the data, this is data, this is data, this is data, and this is data. This could also be hour by hour, per hour, or in the last 2-3 days, stuff like that, last week, okay. You could drill it down and stuff like that. So this is like total amount of time spent. I could even add another one called Uber, because that's something we were doing. If you say Uber, it will be similar to, I'll say black, Uber color. It's the Uber color, what you talk about. And also show something, everything. It would be like 9, 8, 7, 9, 6, 9, or 8, 5, 6, 3, 2. Yep, that's what we're gonna show it to be. So like slowly it's decreasing, Uber in general slowly is decreasing. So this really helps us be aware of our trajectory, because if we are investing more and more time into something, that's gonna grow, and if we are investing less and less time into something, and that's our trajectory, the results of that are going to fade away in our life. For example, you could put in bad habits here. For example, a bad habit would be just doing phone, so we could add a bad habit, and we could show that like actually the bad habit is on the rise, or is it on the, just doing random phones, or doing, or say social media is more relatable. Okay, so if we do social media as like red, or we also already have something red, so I'll make it like a magenta color or something, blue, let's say blue. Okay, blue. Oh, actually I did give it Uber color. Really? Blue. Okay, so if we say social media, for as an example, is on the rise, we could say earlier it was 2, then 3, and then 2, and then 4, and then 7, and then 8, and then 9, and then all of a sudden 13 and 17 and 20, stuff like this. Okay, so if we say social media is on the rise, it goes like 27. Okay, future. So we show we need to worry about and change our trajectory, because this is going to cause bad results in our thing. Okay, that's pretty much it for this part. I will make another part in which this kind of data comes automatically, and this gets generated in the Telegram bot. Okay, thank you for watching.